Hello, welcome back. Previously, in my last video, I talked about what I think will happen in Danganronpa 2x2. You know, a little joke video. Just getting a little silly with it, but I'm going to be kind of serious in this video. This is my serious, actual thoughts, and if I'm being seriously actual right now, instead of seeing Danganronpa 2x2, what I would rather see is Danganronpa 4, and I'd like to talk about what I would like to see in a potential Danganronpa 4. Will that be coming out anytime soon in the next decade? You know, I wouldn't have expected 2x2, so at this point, I feel like anything's possible. So, I feel like having this discussion again. I think it could be fun. As per usual, I will be just slinging out spoilers for the entire series, so this is your spoiler warning. Nothing is safe here, by the way. Manga, well actually the manga is probably safe, but I'll be talking about the anime, I'll be talking about the 4 main games. I don't think there's anything really to talk about with Danganronpa S, so my first order of business in making Danganronpa 4 is I want a wider, more diverse cast of characters. I'm a grown-ass human being. I'm so far removed from high school that a cast of high school students, it just doesn't do anything for me. I don't get out of bed for that. I think a great way to accomplish this would be to have a cast of Hope's Peak Academy graduates, because to be honest, we don't really know a ton about what happens to the students after they graduate. We hear they're guaranteed success, but I'd like to kind of hear more about that. They could have anecdotes they could tell us about in free time events. Think about it. The Danganronpa 3 anime sort of leaned into what I was talking about. You know, the Future Foundation members, they were former Ultimate students, but those characters just didn't have enough time in the oven for people to grow attached to them. Plus, when you're reintroducing beloved characters like Aoi Asahina, Kyoko Kirigiri, Makoto Naegi, it's like, why would I care about these new toys when I got these old toys that I already love? And ultimately, at the end of the day, Danganronpa just works way better as a game rather than an anime. And while we're talking about the characters, I'd also like to see a different take on how they're introduced. I think if each character's ultimate talent was hidden at the start, it'd allow for 2 very important things. The first thing, and I think it's most important to me, is that you could allow each character's ultimate talent to play a larger role in their murder schemes without it being blatantly obvious who the culprit is. Leon throws the fucking glass ball, it's like, who else but Leon would do that? And then the second thing is it adds another mystery element, because each free time that you spend with this character could get you that much closer to figuring out what their ultimate talent might be before the game itself tells you. And as a bonus, Spike Chunsoft, I got you a genius idea. Have one character never reveal their talent. Never. Let people speculate on it forever. Another thing I'd really like is for Danganronpa 4 to not rely too heavily on the past games. Honestly, if they completely ditched Hope's Peak Academy, I would be receptive to that. But the issue is that ultimate talents are so ingrained in the identity of Danganronpa that it's like, how can you not? If you lose that, you lose a lot of sauce. So here's kind of the dilemma. The Hope's Peak saga is pretty well wrapped up at the end of the Danganronpa 3 anime, so it doesn't have a ton of room to like weasel in another class. And then for the Danganronpa V3 ending, if you continue that, it kind of invalidates like everything that entire ending stands for, and it trivializes the journey that those characters went through. So the best solution to me is to make the next Killing Game only loosely connected to Hope's Peak. Have it take place somewhere else. It could be a reboot if you want, but I don't feel like you need to do that. Just use some Hope's Peak graduates, maybe have a copycat mastermind. Just don't give me Junko again. Okay, what I'm asking for next is a colossal ask. I know it's unlikely, it would never happen, but I really wish there was a way to influence who lives and who dies. I'm talking about multiple endings. I would love multiple endings. Think about it. Multiple different murder cases, an execution for every character. Give me distrust, just straight up give me Danganronpa distrust. For those of you who don't know what distrust is, it was a darker, grittier version of Danganronpa, but most importantly, it had a trust meter mechanic. And this trust meter would influence which characters trusted you and which characters didn't. And this feature would likely influence the events of the story based on who you decide to spend time with. And I think that mechanic has way too much potential to just be left behind. It would be a lot of work, but hey, Kodaka already wrote 100 endings for the 100 line, so hop to it. Like, what are we waiting for? Plus, it's my wish list, okay? If I want to ask Santa for the Sportsmobile, I'm not gonna expect Santa to give me the Sportsmobile, but I do still want it though. But you know what? If I can't get my multiple endings, can I at least get a reason to play Danganronpa after I've finished the game? The post-game content for Danganronpa is underwhelming. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful there's any post-game content at all. They could have easily just had nothing and called it a day. But I don't wake up in the morning excited to play Monomi Run in a Circle Simulator. My first thought for post-game content game mode was Vampire Survivors. If you're unfamiliar with this genre of game, usually they have multiple characters to play as, which Danganronpa has no shortage of characters. You collect multiple weapons, which Danganronpa's got dumbbells, toilet paper, seesaw. There's no shortage of zany weapons, and you use these to fight off an endless horde of monsters. There can basically be endless Monokumas, and there's also a whole bunch of different versions of Monokuma in the V3 bonus modes as well as Ultra Despair Girls. So basically the recipe is already there, Spike. You just gotta put everything in the pot. I wouldn't be opposed to a Danganronpa themed social deduction game either, but that one seems harder to get right. I feel like it'd be a ton of work and it would probably need regular updates to stay interesting as well. But hey, it could be done. Plus, it's a wish list. So, Santa, buddy, pal. As a bonus, here are some rapid fire things that I think would be neat, but I don't feel strongly enough in order to dedicate an entire section to. And the first thing is a new female protagonist. Give her some sauce too, please. Like, fuck all this plain spaghetti ass protagonist shit. I'm tired of it. But actually, fuck a protagonist altogether. Give me chapters where I play as entirely different characters, especially for going the multiple routes angle. I would also like a different motive for the mastermind. This is something I kind of respected about the plot of Ultra Despair Girls, and V3 did a pretty good job about supplementing the themes of hope and despair and turning it into like truth and lies. Like the main themes changed without losing the identity of Danganronpa, so I think it's very doable. Editor me, splice this in with the bonus stuff. Give Monokuma his swag back. Monokuma lost his swag in DR2 and V3. No more Monokubs. The Monokubs jacked his swag. Monomi was cramping his style. Make Monokuma the imposing figure that he was originally. And here are some things that I don't think need to go away completely, but they could definitely use a fresh coat of paint. And the first thing is the fan service. Nowadays I largely roll my eyes when it happens, but I know when I was younger, I thought the fan service was awesome. I got screenshots from 2016 of a younger me LMAOing at Sonya Nevermind saying something out of pocket, but maybe that's just because those moments feel earned. I don't know. Either way, I think we can dial back the innuendos and perversion now that we've all grown up a bit. And then next is the character tropes. Historically, Danganronpa characters are very one-note, and I'd like for them to have a bit more depth. The simplicity of its characters is a strength for new fans because they can come into the fandom. What's going on in my background? The simplicity of its characters is a strength for new fans because they can come into the fandom and immediately understand what a character is all about, but it's shallow, and it undermines the emotional depth the setting of Danganronpa could allow for. After character tropes comes the game tropes. The game, it's gotten a bit formulaic, you know, chapter 3 double kill, buff character dies chapter 4, it's a little too predictable. I think there's something kind of endearing about being so familiar with a body of work that you can kind of predict what's going to happen, and I don't think these tropes have to vanish, but people will expect these things, and I think that because these expectations are set, it is the perfect opportunity to make an even more surprising moment come out of it when you circumvent these expectations that you've set over the course of the last 3 games. And then lastly is the mini games. The rhythm game has sucked in every iteration of Danganronpa. The rhythm game has always sucked. It's the least offensive in V3, but I also think Rebuttal Showdown kind of sucks too. If I'm being greedy, I would like more minigames, I would like better minigames, but it's very easy to just say, hey, improve the minigames, and then not give any suggestions. But definitely bring back all of the beloved minigames. Scrum Debate, the car one, I can't remember what the car one's called. It's functionally the same thing as Logic Dive, but hey, just rework it so it's a little different. And also, I would like Mind Mine to come back. I don't know if people really like that one, but I like that one. I thought it was kind of fun. But yeah, I think that's about everything I have on my wish list. I appreciate you guys interacting with the post where I asked you guys what you would like to see in Danganronpa 4. A lot of you guys wanted Distrust, and so do I. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye!